I'm ready to see who the next person they're going to bring in is. I'm actually very curious about this.
All right, your next witness.
Okay, here we go.
Our next witness is Mr. Io Tillett Wright, and it starts with counsel for Mr. Depp asking questions, and then we'll switch over to me.
This is one of Amber's friends.
Right. Good morning again. Have you had any communications with Ms. Heard at all, including text or emails or otherwise, in connection with your preparation for this deposition?
No.
Have you had any? When's the last time you spoke to her?
April of last year. April or May. Almost a year ago.
Okay.
Mr. Wright, when did you first meet Ms. Heard?
I met Amber in the end of 2011.
Okay.
And where did you meet her?
In Los Angeles.
And what were the circumstances of the meeting?
A friend was introducing us to each other so that I could photograph her for a large portrait series that I was doing at the time.
Okay.
What was your profession in 2011?
So he's a photographer?
I was a photographer and I worked for the New York Times, I think. I don't recall exactly everything, but...
In 2011, you were both a photographer and separately worked for the New York Times as a freelancer.
I worked for the New York Times as a journalist.
He thinks? Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he did.
And
why would he know what he did?
What is your profession today?
I'm a writer and a producer.
So he's unemployed. Okay.
And between 2011 and through the present, have you had any other professions other than photographer, writer, or producer?
Yes.
And what are those?
I've hosted a television show or two.
That's nice.
Made some podcasts.
Okay.
I'm
going to be doing that.
Wrote 2 other books. 2 books. 3 books. 3 books. I've written 3 books. A number of things. I don't know. There are more things, but I've always been a multi-hyphenate person. To the best of my recollection, we initially met at a mutual friend's house, which I think I already stated. That friend is also an actor and had met Amber at the Children's Hospital while they were both volunteering, and knew that Amber had done quite a bit of LGBT activism, and
isn't that nice?
Mentioned my project to her, and then invited her over to the other friend invited Amber to her house so that we could all meet, and Amber and I discovered that we liked the same books and we liked psychology, and
that's nice.
Just
I bet she does.
Laughed and had fun that night, and then I asked her if she would participate in the photo project, I think, or somebody did.
Yeah.
And she said yes. A couple of days later, I went to the house that she was staying at, and I photographed her for the project.
That's crazy.
And then thereafter, I went back to New York, where I lived. And I remember her texting me and saying that she was shooting a movie in New York, and did I want to get lunch?
That's nice.
So we got lunch, and
seems normal so far.
Became friends.
Okay, please walk me through that.
We met in 2011. We started becoming friends soon thereafter.
Okay.
Very early in 2013, I came to LA to spend a couple of months with my then, I don't know if she was my girlfriend or my fiance at that point, but the person that I was in a relationship with.
Okay.
In a very serious relationship with. And during the time that I was in LA, I spent more time with Amber. We both spent more time with Amber. and I was introduced to Johnny, and the summer of 2013, I ended up moving to LA, during which Amber and Johnny and I got even closer, very, very close. And then
Okay.
we remained close, the three of us, for 2-ish years. And then all of this happened, this nightmare, and Johnny and I stopped being friends, and Amber and I stayed friends.
Uh-oh.
And then Amber and I were friends.
That's a good
up
way to
until
say
the
it.
date that I told you that we last.
I wonder why that happened.
And at some point in time, did you live on the same property as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
Yes.
Okay.
And when was
You had
that?
to pick a side, yeah.
It was August 2013 until I believe June 1st of 2014. I moved into my own house, so 9 months.
And why is it that you left that property, left living there?
Because I didn't want to live for free in someone's property, and I wanted to have my own house and support myself.
And for how long after that did you stay close with both Johnny and Amber?
I stayed close with both of them.
Is that a nose ring? That's got to be a nose ring, not a
I don't
booger, right?
remember. It was a...
Okay, I was about to say.
sometime in 2015, I think, late 2015 maybe, Johnny and I were no longer, I think,
No longer
the
what?
period when I
No longer what?
really stopped considering Johnny a friend of mine was December of 2015.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, let me ask it this way.
Why?
You never saw Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion, correct?
That's correct. I just would like to clarify, Mr. Preciado, that's a question you already asked me, so you're asking me the same question again about whether or not I witnessed Mr. Depp assault Ms. Heard?
That's right.
No, I have not witnessed that.
Oh.
Let me ask it this way then.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever personally seen
Oh.
Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion?
No.
Now, back to this same paragraph
All right. Well
where
then.
it says, my experience of Johnny during
Silva,
the
thanks for
time
50 subs, man.
that we were close,
Thanks a
from
lot.
2013 through 2015, was that he could be incredibly kind, generous, and loyal.
Uh-huh.
Can you give me examples of his kindness, generosity, and loyalty during that period?
Okay, let's see it.
Johnny, when sober, was lovely and magical and very funny.
Okay.
Johnny, when sober, was incredibly lucid and imaginative, and
Yeah.
I felt a kindred connection with him and a shared perspective on the world that I've shared with very few people in my life. Johnny, when sober, understood how much influence he had over people, and he was very kind to them about it and generous with talking to them about whatever came up. And he was also, when sober, very he made time for people's nervousness around him, which I witnessed on a number of occasions.
That's nice. Seems like a nice
He
guy.
also
When sober,
he
yeah.
had his number of houses on that street, and there was a constant rotation of different people coming to town who could all afford to live somewhere else or stay somewhere else, who he would let and enjoyed having in those houses, which I find to be generous.
In the next paragraph, paragraph 6, you refer to Mr. Depp's struggles with respect to OxyContin. You say that in late 2013, after dental surgery, he became hooked on OxyContin. Did you ever experience him while he was on OxyContin?
Oh, I had to take these
Yes.
before.
And while he was on OxyContin,
Yeah.
did you ever experience him to be mean or vicious?
I can't answer that with any accuracy because I don't know whether or not the times that I did see him be mean or vicious, he was also on OxyContin.
In paragraph 5, where you say that he could be incredibly mean and vicious, especially when he was drunk or high. When you refer to drunk or high, what substances are you referring to?
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
The substances that I saw him ingest with my
That
own
face,
eyes were
Yeah.
cocaine and hard liquor,
It's like, all right.
marijuana, ecstasy, mushrooms, probably some other things, but those are the immediate ones that jump to mind.
Probably.
Cocaine and any kind of alcohol.
Oh my god, is this really gonna happen to me again? Are we really gonna have this fucking bullshit happen again? This is unreal. How is this so bad?
Hard liquor,
If this happens again, I'm gonna go to the other one.
marijuana, ecstasy, mushrooms,
Uh-huh.
probably some other things, but those are the immediate ones that jump to mind.
Okay.
Cocaine and any kind of alcohol. He would become paranoid. When he would drink alcohol, he would become paranoid.
The fuck?
Yeah, I think that I answered your question.
The fuck?
Did you ever have cocaine with him?
No.
Were there any drugs or substances that you took with?
For the entire period that I knew Johnny and thereafter, I did not drink alcohol. There was I think 1 week period during the peak of my breakup, during which Johnny offered me some pain pills to get through
Nice
the
guy.
intensity of that situation.
Yeah.
And that was the only time that I took any substances for 3.5 years. No, that's not
Okay.
true. That was the only time that I took any substances with Johnny.
Oh.
And,
Big difference there. Big difference.
Yeah.
Huge
all the other
difference.
things that I had stated previously about what I do and don't do are also accurate.
So I'm sorry, just to summarize that, is your testimony that
Yeah.
When you witnessed Mr. Depp drunk and high, you were not also either drunk or high? Is that your testimony?
My testimony is that during the entire period that I knew Mr. Depp, I was never drunk or drinking or consuming alcohol at all. My
Wow.
testimony is that for a 1, maybe 2 week, possibly 2.5 week, I don't remember,
Yeah.
period, on a sporadic occasion, I took some pain pills that Mr. Depp offered me
Okay.
to get through an extreme emotional pain situation.
Oh, emotional pain. I thought it
When
was
I
actually
witnessed
hurt.
Johnny doing cocaine, I was
Okay.
not drunk or high. Other occasions that I witnessed
Right.
Johnny drinking, I was not drunk or high. There was a very narrow window during which I was taking some mind-altering pain pills for a very brief period, during which I witnessed Johnny drunk and high.
Did you ever witness Miss Amber Heard drunk or high?
Yes.
And did you ever witness her drink alcohol?
Yes.
Did you ever witness her ingesting cocaine?
Are you asking, like, ever in the history of time have I ever witnessed Amber ingest cocaine?
That's the first question, yes.
Yes. That's yes.
The
That's
answer is no. Amber was vehemently against
What?
cocaine.
What's
Did
this
you ever
cuts?
witness her
What are these cuts?
smoke marijuana?
Wait, what the fuck?
No. Marijuana is not her drug.
What is her drug?
I haven't spoken to Amber in a year, but as far as I know and have known her for the last 11 or 12 years, Amber doesn't have a narcotic of choice.
Oh.
Have you seen her ingest ecstasy?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
How many times have you seen her ingest ecstasy?
Objections or cuts
I
and
can
strikes?
think of one
Okay.
instance in particular when she took it,
that makes sense.
for her birthday, like a celebration. Wasn't
Do
a
you recall what year that was?
common event.
Other than the narcotics and alcohol that I mentioned, did you ever witness Ms. Heard ingest any other drugs?
Uh-huh.
Are you asking me if, other than, what did you ask me about? Cocaine, ecstasy, and mushrooms, I've witnessed Amber taking any other illegal narcotics? Or are you asking me about prescription medications? Can you clarify?
Narcotics other than prescription narcotics.
I don't know, but I don't actually think so, no.
Okay.
Amber drinks
Okay.
red wine when she's
Okay.
not training. Or let me rephrase that. Amber, when I knew her, drank red wine in the evenings fairly regularly, with the
Right.
exception of when she was training for an acting role.
Have you ever witnessed Miss Heard intoxicated?
Yes.
It's like,
And-
yes.
How often would you estimate that you witnessed Miss Heard intoxicated?
I don't know how to quantify intoxicated. If you're asking me how often I witnessed her drunk, is that your question?
Yes.
Amber's strangely immune to getting drunk unless she's really drunk a lot. So I didn't see her drunk.
I wonder
very
how that
often.
happened.
I saw her drinking often.
Yeah, I
but
wonder.
didn't
Yeah,
see her,
damn. Strangely immune.
out of her faculties very often.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, I saw that a handful of times in the 11 years that I knew her.
And how would you describe how alcohol affects Miss Heard's personality based on your experience?
You know, it depends on the circumstance.
Okay.
If it was during a moment when she was celebrating, it would make her loose. Like if we were salsa dancing, then, you know, she would have fun and
Okay.
be fun and at a party and, you know, inebriated and dancing and
That's nice.
having fun.
Aw,
If she
look at
was
that.
in a stressful situation, I think it would just kind of exacerbate whatever the feeling of the moment was.
I'm going to ask you to state your name for the record. Nobody has yet.
Yeah.
In case you haven't recognized my voice.
All right, go
My
ahead.
name is Io Tillett.
Let's bring up Depp exhibit number 1 again, please.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's
Tell
see it.
right. You were asked some questions by Mr. Presidio. And I'm going to take you back up to the first page where you were asked some questions.
Okay. Here we go.
And he started out with, I'm just going to draw your attention to paragraph 4.
All
And
right.
you indicated you met Johnny Depp through Amber. And you hit it off immediately. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then you explained to Mr. Presidio that you considered Johnny to be a close friend and you cared very much about Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Isn't that nice?
He became a close friend, and I did care very much about him. I still care very much about him.
That's
All right.
nice.
Could you please describe that relationship that you had with Mr. Depp up until I think you said December of 2015?
Sure. Okay, Mr. Depp and I first met. Amber invited me over to his house with my then girlfriend. I don't know if she was my fiance yet or not.
Okay.
In I think February of 2013, right at the beginning of 2013. And we all hung out. The four of us hung out in his house, in his living room.
Okay.
And just kind of talked and got to know each other.
Chill.
And it was sweet. I was mostly hanging out with Amber and kind of meeting this person. It was
nice.
a trip to meet someone like that, you know, and see his house. And he was very friendly and very welcoming and very kind.
Look at that.
And then the next time we saw each other was at, Amber and I both like to do what we call family dinners. So we invite people over and cook for them and have a dinner party.
That's nice.
And Amber did an elaborate family dinner at her house.
Wow.
And Johnny and I and my ex and Amber and I believe Whitney were there. I don't know if anyone else was there. I'm sure other people were there. I don't remember. And Johnny and I
He's a good boy.
really
He's a
connected
good
at
boy.
that dinner. We were sitting either opposite each other or just catty corner from each other, and I left feeling a very intense connection to him, and I was like, well, yeah, sure, everybody probably feels an intense connection to him because of who he is. I forget it. It's ridiculous. And then a couple of days later, Amber had another dinner.
Okay.
Such a dinner at her house, and Johnny and I had another really good time and felt very connected and really laughed a lot and whatever. And at the end of the dinner, as I was standing to leave with my ex, Johnny came up to me and said, I don't really know how to say this because it doesn't happen to me very often, but I think I love you. And I felt strange because I felt the same way. And I said, that's funny because I had that same experience after the last dinner party too.
I didn't expect this.
About how crazy and ridiculous that felt. And we exchanged phone numbers.
That's crazy.
And then
What's going on?
He texted me wanting to talk about Amber a couple of times, and I felt that it was like kind of violating her privacy. So I said that I was happy to be friendly with him and happy to, I don't remember exactly what I said, but something to the effect of like, you know, I'm happy to give advice or to help you guys stay in concert with each other, but I don't want to violate anybody's privacy with the other one.
He seems like a good guy.
I think he really
so
respected
far.
that and really liked that because he also values his privacy.
He seems like a good guy so far.
And then I was in LA for a couple more months.
He's chilling.
And I don't know. I think maybe we hung out more during that period. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they came to New York during the next stretch of time or what happened, but basically by the summer, I came back to LA to write and had a very bad breakup with that fiance. And
this is going to be
was
interesting.
going through some things personally that Johnny, you know, he was like, I recognize what's happening for you. It was like particularly bad anxiety-related, trauma-related things.
That sucks.
And I didn't expect him to offer me any support around that stuff, but he just was like, wait, I see what you're going through. You know, this is my experience of it. I have the same thing, and let's talk about it. And like, if you need anything, I'm here. And I was like, thank you so much. You know, I didn't really expect that. And I went back to New York to be with my family for a couple days or maybe a week or something. And it was very painful to be there. And he had said, if it's painful to be there, you know, just let me know and come back and stay here.
Damn.
And so I did.
God damn.
I came back, and I originally was going to stay at Amber's house because she kept her apartment for a number of years while they were together.
Amber's witness.
She stayed at his house a lot. That she paid for, etc. And she was, you know, the person that I'd known longer, so I felt more comfortable being at her house. And then the consensus was that I should be closer to them. And so they said, oh, there's this house that's just sitting empty at the end of the street. Just stay there. And I was very hesitant because I didn't want to take advantage of him. he was insistent, and he was very kind about it.
That's
and,
nice.
And
Damn.
he said that he understood fully what having PTSD and anxiety could do, and that he wanted to help.
Wow.
So I went and I stayed there, and then that was, I'm guessing, in August of 2013, and
this
then
guy's
in
really nice.
September, I think, Amber went to England to shoot a movie. So I was there, and Johnny and I would hang out on our own, and Johnny doesn't have a ton of friends because he can't, and I would go up and hang out with him. You know, we really enjoyed each other. We really liked each other. And so we would just hang out.
Just guys being
on
dudes.
a daily basis, eat dinner or watch movies, and I'd hang out with his kids, and got, you know, very like into like a very sweet uncle niece nephew relationship with his kids, and they called me Uncle Io. And
Mr. Tillett, did you ever call Mr. Depp brother, or your brother, refer to him as your brother?
Yes, I did.
Now, I'm going to take you to paragraph 5 of Depp Exhibit number 1, and Mr. Presidio asked you about this paragraph as well. And at the end of it, you had said, and he could be incredibly mean and vicious, especially when he was drunk or high.
Okay, here we go.
What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that was, on a number of occasions, I saw, you know, Amber or he, I think, also would ask me to come and help. He and I had more of a like mano a mano kind of relationship, and she and I had I was kind of like the only person that would check either of them
Okay.
for a while, and so they would both ask me to do that with each other. So I saw him.
Okay.
For example, I remember there was a time when it was very late at night. I was down the hill, so I went up the hill, and he was outside by the pool with a glass of what I understood to be whiskey, and she was inside crying and very upset in the kitchen, I think.
Okay.
And then I went outside and talked to him for a long time. Situations like that, or
What? What does that even mean?
and he would say things. He said something to me that night that I thought, that night by the pool, where I thought, Jesus Christ, you know.
What was it?
Things like, she's gonna, you know, all she's got is her looks, and, you know, she has no talent, and when her tits start to sag, and her face gets wrinkly, nobody is gonna be interested in her. For
Jesus.
anything. She, you know, better like figure out another way to survive and shit like that. Sorry, pardon me, things like that. And I
Squad fucking W. Oh my god.
also witnessed him when Amber was in England. Marilyn Manson and Paul Bettany came over at one point, and there was a great deal of cocaine and alcohol involved.
Wow.
That I witnessed them doing together. I don't specifically recall if Mr. Bettany did or did not partake in the cocaine, or really much of anything except things that he said and his personality. But Mr. Manson and Mr. Depp partook in a lot of cocaine.
What, if anything, did Mr. Depp tell you about his struggles with drugs and alcohol?
And we sat on the couch, and he told me a number of things. He told me about his childhood. He told me about growing up in Kentucky. He
What,
told
if
me about
anything?
growing
Yeah,
up
this
in
is a
very
norm.
poor, and how his mom was verbally and physically abusive.
Shit.
He told me that when he was very, very young, like 13 or something, he started drinking and taking drugs, I think, or at least drinking quite heavily. He was even kind of like,
A lot of my friends did.
yeah, it's crazy, I know, but I've been doing it my whole life. I'm built like a tank. And so that was kind of the nature of the conversation. And he told me that he had struggled with ever not drinking or ever not doing drugs. And he also told me that he didn't particularly enjoy being sober, but that, you know, people around him were very concerned. He was very, very concerned with his children, and he would express shame or regret about times that he had been inebriated to the point of falling down or embarrassing himself, you know, urinating on himself, things like that.
Yeah.
When his children were around.
Bro, are we really gonna do this again? Bro, are you really gonna do this on me? Are you really gonna fuck me in the ass?
Told me that
they do it again, I swap.
With
they do it again, I swap.
Women, his drug and alcohol use
I swap.
had been in children, and he would express shame or regret about times that he had been inebriated to the point of falling down or embarrassing himself.
Chat, it doesn't work.
You know, urinating on himself, things like that, when his children were around, and that he was very grateful to the people who had kind of shielded them and whisked them away. And he told me that in his relationships with previous women, his drug and alcohol use had been an issue.
Probably, yeah.
But that he just didn't really like life sober, and that it was too painful to be alive without imbibing or getting high.
That would suck, man.
He also told me that he had experienced great bouts of jealousy in relationships that had also led to a lot of drinking and a lot of rage activities.
Yeah, I could see this happen.
He told me that happened with Winona. He told me that happened with Kate and Winona Ryder and Kate Moss. He told me that had happened with Vanessa Parody.
Mr. Tillett-Wright, what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp abusing OxyContin?
Over the course of those 2 years, Mr. Depp told me verbatim that he was addicted to OxyContin.
That sucks.
And I have a text message from him where he expresses that it's extraordinarily hard to kick, and that it...
yeah, that sucks.
I don't remember exactly the words that he
God
uses,
damn.
but he referred to it to me verbally many times as like the hardest thing that he's ever tried to kick, which he's tried to kick most things. He said it was harder than heroin.
Jesus Christ.
So he was very
why do they keep prescribing that shit then?
Verbose about
the fuck?
OxyContin, having gotten addicted to OxyContin.
So what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp smoking cigarettes?
Money, that's a good point.
Joints.
I think that's probably why. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mr. Depp, as far as I could see, always had a cigarette or joint in his mouth at all times.
Jesus.
Where I was confused about how he could function. He also showed me his marijuana closet that had, I don't know, tens and tens of pounds of weed in it.
What, if any, observations did you make while you were staying at Sweetser? I think you said that was August 2013 through May of 2014.
Mega joints?
With respect to
holy shit,
the type of alcohol and the amount of alcohol that Mr. Depp was consuming.
God damn.
When I saw Mr. Depp drink, it was often hard liquor. I believe it was whiskey and gin and tequila, maybe.
Okay.
Could also be vodka. I don't know. He had a full bar in 80, the house that they, with his recording studio in it, that they mostly stayed in. So, I know whiskey for sure, and there was also red wine, a lot of red wine.
Okay.
And when you
Sure.
talk about the whiskey and the red wine, how much did you observe Mr. Depp consume on any given occasion?
I bet a lot.
I don't know.
I mean, he said he'd been doing it forever.
The one occasion
Yeah.
I know specifically was the one that I mentioned before during the argument, where
This
he
is the
suddenly
mega
had a
pint.
glass of whiskey, and I remember it being like, I remember because I grew up counting people's drinks. I remember clocking that it was a very large pour in the glass of whiskey.
If you recall those, I think my question was, what if any observations did you make, or did Mr. Depp
It's
ever tell
confirmed.
you about him blacking out?
Mr. Depp
It's confirmed, boys.
was very open with everyone that he
Oh my god.
was a heavy user. And
That's crazy.
he told me about, I know there was one instance where he had this very large house property. So if
Mega pint
Switzer
time,
Avenue
that's
goes
right.
like this, the house that I was staying at, 76, is down here, then there's 78, which is right here, and then up here is 80, and then across the street, I guess, is 82.
Uh-huh.
And 82 is a very large compound. So he and I were staying,
Mega pint stick,
I was at
mega
76
pours.
or up at 80, and then 82 they lived in for a brief period of time. And he told me about like vanishing into 82, into the like the property, into the like, because it was very lush and a lot of trees, and went up quite far up the hill. And he told me about kind of like blacking out and going in there. On one instance, he told me,
Okay.
I know that he told me that in Australia, he had blacked out. But he also told me that he fucked up, so I don't know. In terms of specific
That was a cut.
blackouts,
Oh, somebody fucked
there
up.
were a number. I think he said on the plane,
Yeah.
he said that he didn't remember what had happened.
What, if anything, did Mr. Depp say to you about whether he wanted to become sober and clean?
Mr. Depp expressed to me that he wanted to get sober for Amber, that he didn't enjoy being sober, that it wasn't fun,
nice.
and that it was distressing and exhausting, and very hard to do. He really resented having to be sober. Yeah, he didn't want to be.
That's why I never started doing
And what,
drugs.
if anything, did Mr. Depp say to you about
Yep.
his perception
I never got
of
into it.
Amber's role in him becoming sober and clean?
He expressed a number of times that he felt like
I was
she
worried.
was his leash, and she was holding him back from doing what he wanted to do in terms of substances and alcohol. I just want to go back to another incident that I remember. He told me he blacked out was on the island. He went to the Bahamas.
Okay.
There were two different instances. One was, I guess, like they had only recently met, and he told me that he passed out face down in the sand while his kids were there, and that the staff had like whisked his kids away so that they didn't see it.
Mr. Tilleray,
Good.
when you said that Mr. Depp used the term
Yeah.
monster, what do you recall him saying about that?
And the language that ended up
I mean,
being
he's got
kind
a
of settled
drug
on
problem, man.
was that
It is
there
what it
was
is.
a side of him that was the monster, and that it was not who he was,
Okay.
but it was something that lived within him that he had to battle. And the language that he always used was that of battle and battling the demon, battling the monster.
I like that. The language there.
So that the monster, he would say things like, the monster
Fucking
will
savage.
not win. I will not be that type of man. I don't want to be that type of man or husband. I don't want to hurt He would call her Slim, our Slim, our girl, referring to all of her friends.
That's nice,
and
yeah.
him and her and I. Yeah.
What, if
Okay.
any, observations did you make of Mr. Depp, both in terms of physical as well as temperament, when you perceived him as having too much to drink?
Mr. Depp would drink and or take drugs. He would get very mean, very surly, very paranoid, extremely paranoid.
That's what a lot of people do.
Weave these elaborate situations in which Amber was having affairs with every man that she ever worked with and every woman she ever came in contact with. He became very demeaning. Johnny is incredibly intelligent, incredibly smart and witty, and he would point his jokes at people, Amber's appearance, her talent, her lack of talent as he perceived it.
As he perceived it.
Why he thought that she was actually famous, which he always implied was just because of her looks. And because he thought that everyone wanted to have sex with her. And he would insult his fans. He called them, I remember he called them remoras, which is a type of sucker fish that attaches itself to the hull of a ship and puts a hole in it and then sinks it. He would rail against his mother and his sister, sisters.
Do
Pretty much,
remoras
you
do
know,
that?
Anyone that he felt had crossed
I don't
him
think
or
they
could
do
cross
that.
him, he became very nasty about.
What, if anything, do you recall Mr. Depp saying about
Trixidos? Yeah.
his
mixed with hot sauce.
mother and comparing his mother to Amber?
Mr. Depp told me that his mom was viciously cruel to him
Damn.
during his upbringing,
And that's why.
and that she was also viciously, like, violent with him and with his siblings and with his father. He referred to her, pardon my language, as a bitch and a cunt a lot. And he
said that's
seemed to
bullshit.
kind of compare them in the sense that he said at one point something to the effect, I threw it here actually, yeah, I already have a mom who was a bitch to me, I don't need another one in my life. There was a fair bit of that kind of, like, you know, my mom's been awful enough to me already, I don't need another woman who's gonna also be
Holy
awful to me.
shit.
What, if any, discussions did
Oh my
you
God.
have with Johnny about the fights he had with Amber?
Yeah.
We had a lot of discussions about his fights with Amber.
Jesus, bro. That's brutal.
What do you recall?
What's this about?
In the
They're trying to
very
make him look
beginning,
bad. That's all. They're just trying to make
He
him look bad.
expressed that
He's a drug addict.
she made him feel crazy, that he was so in love that it made him feel crazy.
So it's because of gaslighting him.
The very first
Yeah.
time that I mentioned, September of 2013,
That's exactly what those people
when he
do.
and I were alone together a lot, he expressed that he thought that she was cheating on him and sleeping with her co-stars in England on the films. And I said to him, or in the film, and I said to him, listen, you know, I know her, I think, pretty well, and I talk to her a lot, and I think if she was having an affair, I would be one of the very few people that she would tell about it.
Yeah.
And I don't hold secrets or lies for anybody, and I would tell you if that was happening so you could make your own decisions. But as far as I know, that's really not the case. And I think that she's really in love with you. And I think that she also is worried that you are having affairs because both of you are used to being sex symbols on Earth. And both of you need to just accept the fact that you're really in love with each other and lean in and be together and love each other. And he told me that sometimes his jealousy would make him feel crazy and outside himself, and that he had to get it under control.
Okay. This
and
kind
it
of
would
makes
cause him
sense.
to fight, to be specific in regard to your question.
I believe this.
He told me about the fight that they had the time that I went up there.
I believe
Are
this
you
so
asking
far.
for specific instances, or are you
This is
asking
all
about
fair.
the nature of their fights?
No, I am asking for what he told you about their fights and specific instances, yes.
So to continue with what I was saying from before, he told me about the fight in the middle of the night.
Okay.
When I was living down the hill at Sweetser, when I mentioned that I saw him with a heavy pour of whiskey, I went outside to the pool.
We know about that.
And spoke to him, and he told me about the argument that they had and that she gets mean during fights, and that it really hurts his feelings, and that he then lashes out at her, and that, you know, she called him old.
Oof.
And he then calls her soon to be ugly and talentless, and that they get really ugly with each other. He told me
seems like a great relationship. Soon
about
to
a
be
fight that
ugly.
they had. We went to England that September.
Wow.
It was Whitney's
God
birthday, I
damn,
think.
man.
Amber's
What an
sister,
insult,
Whitney.
yeah.
And Amber was stuck working. My birthday, Raquel's birthday, and Whitney's birthday, the three people who she was the closest to, all have birthdays in September.
Yeah.
Raquel's just before at the end of August, whatever. We're all Virgos, and she couldn't be with any of us on our birthday, so we all went to England to surprise her. And during that trip, Johnny proposed to her, and they then, I'm pretty sure that night after the proposal, got in a huge fight, which they both told me about separately.
That
And
sucks.
he said, I'm pretty sure that he trashed the hotel room. Let's see.
Mega fight.
I spoke to him.
That's right.
After I went and talked to him after their fight on the plane.
So that's the Boston, LA plane incident, is that right?
That's correct.
So, Mr. Telleright, I'm going to ask you about the Boston, LA flight incident. You talked about it a little bit earlier, and you just said now that you spoke with Mr. Depp about it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It seems that way,
Okay.
yes.
What do you recall of your discussion with Mr. Depp about the Boston plane incident that happened in May of 2014?
And I went upstairs to his bedroom, which was like blacked out, and I woke him up. I remember shaking his shoulder and saying to him, "Hey, buddy, like, wake up," which was not something that a lot of people did to Johnny, wake him from his slumber. And he woke up, and we had a conversation about what happened on the plane. And he didn't really remember being on the plane. He didn't really remember getting off the plane.
Okay. So he didn't remember anything.
Much detail of anything, and he swore up and down that he was going to stop, and he was going to stop drinking and taking drugs, and he was going to never do it again.
That settles it. It's done.
That was that incident.
What if any
Problem solved.
meetings related to alcohol?
Why, was that easy?
Did you and Amber
Holy
attend
shit.
in this time frame?
I understand because we didn't go to many meetings. I took Amber with me to Al-Anon, which is it's like a sister program to AA for the family and friends and loved ones of addicts and alcoholics, which I regularly attended So she
Okay.
came with me to a number of Al-Anon meetings, and she also had, I think, 1 or 2 phone calls with my dad's wife about how she dealt with helping him get off of his drugs and drink less. And she read a number of books about it. She was watching documentaries about it. She would listen to any radio show she could get on, like anything she could get her hands on that would give her some tools for how to deal with this, she consumed in that period.
Okay.
What, if any, communications did Johnny have with you in this time frame about wanting to get back with Amber after the Boston plane incident?
We went to New York, and I remember we were staying at the Ace Hotel in Midtown. And Johnny started reaching out to me. He went eventually back to Boston to start filming again. Would have been in like the next day or 2 because we weren't there for that long. And
They're trying to make him seem like a junkie.
he
Yeah.
reached out to me and
How many
basically
drugs he does?
said
Oh, he's on drugs.
something to the effect of like,
Drugs. Jesus Christ, man.
I have to fix this. I will do anything that I can. And then while he was in Boston, he
Oh,
let me
fuck.
know. And I think he was trying to reach Amber too, but she didn't. She wasn't ready to talk to him. He let me know that he had engaged Dr. Kipper and that he intended, with every fiber in his being, to get sober. And that the nature of the conversation at that point
Okay.
was that he was going to beat this thing, you know?
Yes, please describe for me what transpired, what you discussed with Johnny and Amber relating to Australia in 2015.
After because they were married in February and they went to Australia in the spring.
You know, I'm going to interrupt you just for a moment, and forgive me, I just want to keep it chronologically there. You described earlier that you were present for the wedding, correct, in February of 2015?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I feel like
and
it's
you also had
unfair, man.
discussed,
It's
about
unfair.
Amber wanting Johnny to be sober for the wedding. What, if any, observations did you make
seems like
about
horseshit to me.
Johnny at the ceremony and with respect to whether he was sober and clean?
You know, I don't actually know whether Johnny was. I don't think Johnny was drinking on the day of their wedding. I really don't actually think he was. Let me rephrase that. Before the ceremony.
Okay.
On the day of their wedding.
Ah.
Because I was going back and
I was about to
forth
say.
between their
Yeah.
respective like private preparation quarters.
Yeah,
where
not
they
the
were
whole
getting
day,
ready,
just like
because
before
I
the
was
beginning.
technically her best man and his son
Yeah.
Jack was his best man, but I wasn't one of the girls and felt more comfortable over there with them.
With the dudes.
But I was helping all the girls, so I was running back and forth on this golf cart. I was also taking pictures. I was
Okay.
one of 2 people who was friends with them that had worked as a photographer, so I volunteered to take pictures. So I was
That's nice.
very intimately with Johnny and Jack
You got a nose ring?
leading
Yeah, he
up to
does.
the wedding, and he wasn't drinking. I don't think. I don't remember seeing him drink.
And then let me ask you this. After the ceremony, as you were walking to the reception, what, if anything, did Johnny Depp say to you about Amber?
As we were walking back from the ceremony, we were coming into Cafe Los Cabrones, which is where the party was happening.
Okay.
And I was walking with Johnny and congratulating him that they pulled it off and that they did it, you know. And he said,
There's the picture. Okay.
"We're married now. I can punch her in the face and nobody can do anything about it."
So I'm going to now turn your direction to
Okay.
Australia, roughly a month later after the wedding. You weren't present in Australia with Amber and Johnny, correct?
That's correct.
I'm showing you what has been marked as exhibit number 3. Do you recognize anybody in this picture?
All right, here we
I
go.
do, yeah. Myself and Miss Heard.
Wait, oh, that's
I
him?
do, yeah.
Please describe. what
Damn,
you
he looks
see.
way different too.
I see a number of long, thin cuts.
And
God damn,
what, if
they
any,
both look way different.
similarity are those to the ones you just described, having seen after Amber returned
This is
from
if she
Australia?
cuts herself.
Very similar.
All right. And are they the same or are they different ones?
I would have no way of knowing if they're the same or different ones, but they're similarly long, skinny cuts like the ones that I saw after she came back from Australia.
I'm going to show, Mr. Tillett, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 5.
Okay.
And it's a text message exchange. Do you recognize this text message number here below Arrow's Arc?
That's my old phone number, yes.
Okay, so
Got it.
does this represent a text message exchange between you and Amber Heard on 12/16/2015?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and I'm going to start you at the top with the blue. It says, "I need you." Do you recognize who is sending that message?
Yeah.
Mr. Tillett, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as exhibit number 6.
Okay,
Do
let's
you
see it.
recognize the person in this photo?
Yes, I do.
Please describe what you see in this picture.
I see Amber Heard, and I see an injury to Amber's scalp.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And what, if anything, do you recall about seeing anything similar to that when you arrived in December 2015 at Amber's penthouse?
I remember this being one of the injuries that I was shown when I arrived at Penthouse 3 at the Eastern Building on December 16th, 2016.
Okay.
And does this picture that's marked as exhibit number 6 accurately depict what you recall seeing?
I remember this being one of, I think maybe 2 scalp injuries that there were. I remember there was another one as well, but I could be mistaken. I believe there was another one on a different part of her head as well.
Okay.
Do you recognize the picture that is set forth as exhibit number 7?
Yes, I do.
Please describe for me
That
what
it's
is
like,
depicted in
bro.
this picture that you recognize.
This was a picture of Amber's scalp.
And does this accurately
Bro, like,
depict what you
I
saw
mean, like,
when you were shown it,
I
as you testified earlier?
You know
in
what I
December
mean?
2015.
Yes, it does.
Mr. Tillett, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 8. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, I do.
Please describe
Wow.
what is depicted there.
wow.
This is Amber Heard's face with a very swollen lip.
And does this
Yep.
accurately
Herpes? I don't know about
depict
that.
what you observed when you arrived at Amber Heard's
Hmm.
penthouse in December 2015?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit
Okay.
number 9. Do you recognize this picture?
Yes, I do.
Please describe.
That's her hair.
This is the
Yeah.
type of hair that I was shown, I believe, when I arrived at Penthouse 3 on the night of December 16th, 2015.
And does this accurately and genuinely depict the scene that you recall seeing?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, what if any plans was there as of December 16, 17 of 2015 for Amber to be spending Christmas with Mr. Depp and his kids? Do you recall?
Taking the pictures down while we talk. Yes, I do recall. There was a plan for Johnny and Amber and Lily Rose and Jack and
Those are his kids.
Raquel and her boyfriend or fiance at the time, Josh, to go to the Bahamas. Oh, and Raquel's mom and Amber's parents to go to the Bahamas and spend Christmas on the island together.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Tillett, I'm going to ask you, what, if any, conversations did you have with Johnny Depp about the December 15 incident?
I don't think that I don't know that he and I had a direct conversation about it. I'm not sure if he and I had a direct.
Is that the one where she threw the shit at him? I think it is.
So what, if any, I'm going to show you, Mr. Tillett,
Oh,
what has
shit.
been marked as deposition exhibit number 16. It's a text message exchange dated 2/10/2016.
That's fast.
Do you recognize this document?
Change that shirt
Yes,
quick.
I do. It's a text exchange between me and Amber Heard about a video that she sent me.
Okay. Now it starts out, hi, Steve left me a voicemail at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And that's from you, correct?
That's correct.
Do you
Okay.
remember what the voicemail message was?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. Johnny called me at 5 in the morning and left me a voicemail in the character of some kind of management, of like a property manager. And he said something about, yes, hello, this is management. And I don't remember what he said, but it was something to do with like, we have a situation that we need to change out the something. And it was just a lengthy,
Why?
just off the wall nutbag ramble in the character of management.
Mr. Tillett, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 17.
Why?
And then, Alex, I'm going to ask you to
Yeah, what is
play
this? Why? Why did this happen? Sounds hilarious. Yeah, it does sound funny, but I don't know why it happened. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is it.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened? What happened?
Did he kick the microwave? I think he did.
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning.
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
This is the morning I think he found out his mom died.
No.
That's what I heard.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy.
There's the mega pint. Let's
Oh,
go.
you're crazy.
There it is.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Sneak that shit on me,
No,
motherfucker.
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Bye.
Okay. She's laughing? Yeah, because she knows she got him upset. That's
Thank you,
why.
Alex. You can take this down now.
That's the demon in control. That's the
Mr.
demon.
Tillett, do you recognize that video?
Yes, I do.
Was that the video that Amber sent to you on the text message exchange on February 10th, 2016?
Yes, it was.
Do you recall watching that video on February 10, 2016?
Yes, I recall watching that video at the
Okay.
time that I received those text messages.
Okay.
So I'm going to take you to 21 May 2016. What do you recall with respect to a telephone call you received from Amber?
Sure. I was in New York. I was there visiting family. I was in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I was walking down Manhattan Avenue, and I got, I believe, a text message from Amber that said something to the effect of, like, can you talk? And so I called, and I was walking down the street as this happened.
Yeah.
She put me on speakerphone, so I was talking to both of them. He just stopped by to pick up some of his stuff, and he has a theory that he, either he wants to ask you about, or and I said, okay, sure. And hello, Johnny, like, you know. And he, I think it was he said or she said, Johnny thinks that you and I together defecated on his pillow.
Uh-oh.
I think the words were used were shit on his pillow. So I started laughing, and I was laughing, she was laughing, and when I realized that he was serious, I was like, okay, look, you know, first of all, I wasn't there that day, and so he got very agitated.
It has nothing to do with him.
She and I thought it was funny, and he started to get more and more agitated, and I could hear him walk away from the phone. He came clomping back down the stairs.
Clomping?
I heard like a noise, and then the phone dropped, and he said to her, oh, you think I hit you? You think I fucking hit you? What if I peel your fucking hair back?
Uh-huh.
And then I heard the phone drop again, and then I heard her scream. I remember her screaming. And I hung up the phone, and I called Raquel immediately because I know that she lives one door away, and would her and her boyfriend Josh, who's a big dude, would be able to get there the fastest.
Okay.
And I called her, texted her right away, and I hung up with her and immediately called 911 in New York. And then I called a friend of mine in LA who I knew had met Amber a number of times, and I think I may have placed a second call to NYPD. Now I'm all frazzled and I don't remember, but I think I called NYPD.
Mr. Waldman made some statements in April and June of 2020 that quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media used fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some for sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public.
I don't
and
know.
Mr. Depp. That was made on April 8, 2020. What, if any, impact did that have on Amber based on your observations?
Amber retreated. Amber became isolated, embattled, extraordinarily distressed.
And then on June 24, 2020, Waldman accused Amber Heard of committing a, quote, abuse hoax against Depp. What were your observations of how this impacted him?
I think that my previous statement encompassed that.
During the time that you were friends with Johnny and you were speaking with him up until you testified December of 2015, what, if anything, did Johnny Depp ever tell you about Amber Heard being physically violent to him?
Nothing ever at any point.
Do you agree with me that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard had many verbal arguments?
Yes, I do.
And you were a witness to a lot
Yeah.
of those verbal arguments, correct?
I was witness to some verbal arguments.
Okay. And did you ever hear Ms. Heard say anything mean to Mr. Depp in those arguments?
Yes.
And did you ever hear Ms. Heard say anything vicious to Mr. Depp in those arguments?
Obviously.
Yes.
So would you agree with me that when they argued, they were mean and vicious to one another
Oh my god.
in what they said?
I would categorize it very differently, sir.
Well, you testified that you heard Ms. Heard say mean and vicious things to Mr. Depp when they argued, and vice versa. Is that
Okay.
accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
And although you witnessed arguments, verbal arguments between the two of them, where they exchanged mean and vicious statements, you never saw Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion, correct? Objection.
No, I never saw either of them physically assault the other one.
Did you ever experience him become violent as a result of or because of smoking cigarettes or joints?
As I've already explained to you probably 8 times, I've never seen Mr. Depp become physically violent with Miss Heard. So if that's what you're asking me, if he smoked a cigarette
He's
and that made
fucking
him
tired of
violent,
this shit.
I think you know that that's ridiculous, and the answer is, again, no.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp become violent in any manner on account of him smoking cigarettes or joints?
If you want my honest answer is that Mr. Depp mixed substances constantly, and I keep trying to tell you that. He mixed all kinds of things together when he got crazy and violent. So, and upset and paranoid.
Oh my god.
So, and I never knew what he had taken.
Tired of
When
it.
you say when he got violent, when did you see him get violent?
I saw Mr. Depp throw glasses and dishware on at least 2 occasions, which I would characterize as physically violent. And do I know if he'd smoked marijuana or cigarettes? Before that, I don't know.
When were those 2 occasions?
Sometime during the time that I was living in Sweetser.
Okay.
And once at the Eastern Building.
And prior to throwing those dishes, did you witness him imbibing any drugs or alcohol?
I couldn't tell you, but seeing as Mr. Depp always was smoking cigarettes and marijuana, my assumption would be yes.
Okay.
Always. Okay. Jesus. The devil's lettuce.
Do you
That's right.
recall, when Miss Bredenhoff showed you a picture of a clump of hair on the floor?
Yes.
He's getting pissed. I can tell he's getting fucking pissed. He's annoyed.
When you saw that, that was more than a day after it was allegedly pulled from her head by Mr. Depp. Is that right?
Well, if you want to get technical, my understanding was that their fight happened very late at night, which is technically the morning of the 16th.
Okay.
And I arrived at her house around midnight, the night of the 16th. So technically, it's not more than a day after. It's in the same 24-hour period. So technically, the answer to your question is no.
Okay. So I'm just talking about the hair on the ground that you saw. When you saw it, was it your understanding that it had been there for more than 20 hours?
I have no idea what time their fight started or ended.
How
so
would
I
he
don't
know?
if it was 20 hours or 16 hours or 13 hours.
How the fuck would he
But
know?
my understanding, again, was that they had gotten into a fight sometime in the morning of the 16th / late at night on the 15th. I don't know at what point during that fight in which the clump of hair was ripped out of her head, but it happened sometime then and there. So yeah, sure. My understanding was that that clump of hair had not been moved since it was ripped out of her head.
Well, that settles it. Okay, now what?
All right. Completes. All right. Who's your next witness?
We have another video deposition, Raquel Pennington. It's a long one, so we could listen to some of it
All
tonight.
right. Let's go ahead and
into-
start. Why don't we
Okay.
go ahead and start it today?
Okay, let's see it.
At least get 30 minutes in, if we could.
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
All right.
And, Your Honor, just for your benefit and the jury's benefit, the questioning starts with Ms. Vasquez on behalf of Mr. Depp, and then I question Ms. Pennington at some point, which will probably be tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Let's see it.
Can I please have you state your name for the record?
This is one of Amber's friends.
In what city and state do you currently reside?
I see
Los
that.
Angeles,
Okay.
California.
You've been deposed before, right?
That's the first time he's spoken in like 2
You were
days.
deposed in Ms. Heard's divorce proceeding for Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you been deposed in any other matter?
No.
What was the purpose of the declaration that you submitted during Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's divorce?
The purpose of the thing that I wrote, which I don't know if it was
Okay.
technically called a declaration or whatever it was
Right.
to write down my account of events as fresh in my memory as possible.
Okay, that makes
And Ms.
sense.
Heard asked you to write down your witness account. Is that correct?
I do not remember, actually. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, why
Did
the fuck
Mr.
would
Depp
she
ask
remember
you to
that?
write down anything in support of any legal filings?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember.
This is useful. Thank God we got through with
So it's your
this.
testimony sitting here today that you don't remember one way or another, whether it was Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard that asked you to write down your witness account during their divorce. Is that correct?
I wrote down my account.
Yeah.
That is the memory that I have. I wrote down everything as clearly as I could remember
Didn't
it.
happen to her.
As soon as I could.
You provided a witness statement in the UK proceedings. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Do you recall how many witness statements you provided?
Just one.
And you provided this witness statement to the son's attorneys?
I don't know who it got provided to.
Did you testify in the UK trial?
She got no fucking idea. There you go.
Yes.
And for which party did you testify for at the UK trial?
All right.
I
That's
believe
great.
it was the publication.
And by the publication, you mean the Sun?
Yes.
Oh, that was the one that made up all that bullshit. Yeah, we know about them. Uh-huh.
Perhaps 6 months ago, maybe more.
Okay.
What did you and Ms. Heard speak about?
Probably, it was before her baby was born. So we were mostly speaking about her baby at that point.
Did you speak to, when was the last time you spoke to Ms. Whitney Heard? Around November? October, November of last year. When you say last year, you mean 2021?
Yes.
Maybe.
When did you first meet Ms. Amber Heard?
I believe it was 2003.
When you met Ms. Heard in 2003,
Yeah.
you developed a friendship. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say you were best friends?
We became very close friends.
Your friendship with Ms. Heard, it persisted through her relationship with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they were friends. That's incredible.
And
I
you
can't
were friends
believe
with
this.
Ms. Heard through her divorce from
Wow.
Mr. Depp as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Other than when you lived at the Eastern Columbia building, which we'll get to, did you ever live with Ms. Heard?
Yes.
When was this?
Twenty 2017? 2017 to 2018. Yeah.
Where did you both live?
This is proving to be very useful.
We lived on Holly Drive.
This is very useful. I get it.
Was that a home?
Yes.
Did you pay rent?
No.
Did Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Sitting here today, do you still consider Ms. Heard a friend?
Just a second.
I wouldn't consider her not a friend.
What does that mean?
We don't speak. We are not enemies.
Why don't you speak?
Oh my god, bro. Here we go. Girl drama. Let's go.
Rhonda, can I put my question read back?
Yes.
Here we go. I want to know why. What happened?
Sitting here today, you can't give me one reason why you grew apart from Miss Heard.
I wanted to spend more time with other people in my life and prioritize other relationships and other...
She's hiding something. She is 100% hiding something.
Over the course of your friendship with Amber Heard, did you ever see her using illicit drugs?
Yes.
Can you define illicit?
I'll be right back.
drugs?
I fucking, I've got to take a
prescribed.
piss. Like, this is just, can you define illicit? Shut the fuck up, Bill
Yes.
Clinton.
Did you ever see her use cocaine?
Yes.
How many times?
I don't know.
Countless?
No.
Less than 10?
Yes.
Less than 5?
Yes.
If you remember, when was the first time you ever saw Amber Heard use cocaine?
I don't remember.
Did you ever do cocaine with Miss Heard, Amber Heard?
Yes.
How often?
Okay. Guys, did I miss anything?
Not often.
Was there a point in your relationship with Ms. Amber using more cocaine?
No.
Cocaine? I thought she said she didn't like cocaine.
Did you ever see Miss Amber Heard use cocaine while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
Wait, what? Wait a second. She said she didn't do that.
I don't think so, no.
They did coke, not
Do
cocaine.
you know what Provigil is?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Are you aware that Miss Amber Heard has taken a drug called Provigil?
Yes.
Do you know when she started taking it?
No.
Do you know whether Amber Heard continued to take Provigil during her relationship with Mr. Depp?
Who the fuck knows?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she had stopped taking Provigil?
She never told me that.
Are you familiar with any of the side effects of Provigil?
No.
There's no way
Did Ms.
she
Heard
can
ever
know
tell
that.
you that she was experiencing any side effects as a result of her vigil?
She never said anything about that.
You testified you saw Ms. Heard use mushrooms less than 5 times, yes?
Who is this? This is Raquel.
Yes.
It's one of Amber's
Each
friends.
of those 5 times, or less than,
Or former
was she in a
friends.
relationship with Mr. Depp.
Did you say each of the 5 times?
Right.
Not each of the 5 times.
How many times that you observed Amber Heard use mushrooms was she in a relationship
What?
with Mr. Depp?
What the fuck does that mean?
Maybe 3.
Okay, that's it. That's an answer. All right. We got an answer.
You recall the specific occasions when you saw Amber Heard use mushrooms while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
3 out of 5 times. Yeah.
The first Coachella that we went to. The
Okay.
second Coachella that we went to.
Okay. It's a lot of Coachellas.
And
I would never want to go there. What about the third?
Maybe at Hicksville,
I hope she doesn't feel confident about this one.
but I
With
can't
Mr.
be
Depp?
sure of that.
Uh-huh.
Was Mr. Depp at Hicksville?
Yes.
Around June of 2014, you moved into one of the penthouses in the Eastern Columbia building. Is that correct?
I don't remember which month, but I did move into the penthouses.
Approximately in 2014?
Approximately.
Okay.
And Ms. Heard at the time was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes.
And it was Mr. Depp who invited you to live in one of the penthouses, right?
They both did.
And when you say they both did, they both sit you down and invite you to live in the penthouses?
I don't remember how the invitation happened, but it came from both of them.
This was a penthouse Mr. Depp owned, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And specifically, the one you lived in, it was referred to as Penthouse 1, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And when you moved in, Mr. Depp gave you a master key to all the penthouses he owned, right?
It could have been one of his assistants.
Damn, that's a nice
When you say
guy.
one of his assistants, you mean one of Mr. Depp's assistants?
Bro, he lets everybody
Correct.
stay at his house. He didn't give a fuck.
So either Mr. Depp
Yeah.
or one of his assistants gave you a master key to all the penthouses that he owned, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Depp never charged Mr. Drew for rent while he lived at Penthouse 1, did he?
He did not charge him any rent, no.
Okay.
Did either of you get physical?
No.
And how was this argument resolved?
We talked it out.
Okay.
You recalled another argument with Miss Heard at Holly House, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was this argument about?
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Let's see. Let's see what it gonna be.
I think that we were setting up for Thanksgiving, and we were looking for maybe some glasses or some dishware. We had just moved in, and we couldn't find them anywhere. And then she
She's
finally
stalling
found them
'cause
in a
she's at
place that I
work.
thought I had looked, and
Take the maximum
we
amount of time
started
off.
arguing about that.
Drag
She
this
thought that
as
I
much
wasn't
as you can.
looking hard enough, I think, and I told her that I thought that
Yeah.
I looked there. Yeah, I think that's what their argument was about.
Yeah, is that right?
Was this just a verbal altercation, or did you get physical with each other?
Yeah, I believe that I pushed her.
Uh-huh.
How did Miss Amber Heard react to that?
So she pushed Amber.
She either pushed or hit me back.
But she got pushed first, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Shouldn't push people.
You know where she hit you?
I think it was on my cheek.
Catfight, Joe.
Do you recall any other physical altercations that you've had with Miss Amber Heard?
The why she pushed her?
No.
I don't know.
Do you recall any specific instances when you saw Amber Heard get into a fight with someone else?
No.
In the time you've known Amber Heard, have you ever seen her wear hair extensions?
Yeah. Yes.
Did she have hair extensions in while she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp?
I think I know
don't
where this is
when
going.
Exactly, she had them throughout.
Oh, because
the time I've known
remember.
her.
I'm going to mark as Pennington Exhibit 1.
Oh.
Pennington's witness statement in the UK proceeding, which is dated June 16th, 2020. Ms. Pennington, first and foremost, do you recognize this document?
Wow.
Yes.
Ms. Pennington, this is a sworn witness statement that you provided in the UK, right?
I understand. I wanted to get to the bottom and make sure that this was the one that I signed and saw the date, and that was the full document. I just finished it. Yes, this is the document.
Did you write this witness statement yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
She said yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did anyone help you write this?
No.
Did Amber Heard help you write this?
No.
She's
Did
acting
Amber
like
Heard's
she's
counsel help you write this?
No.
she's acting like she's telling the truth.
Other than your attorney, did you speak with anyone about the preparation of this
I don't
witness
know.
statement?
It's hard to
No.
say.
Could please turn to the 10th page of the document
Mhm.
where your signature is, or a signature is.
It seems genuine. I don't know.
Is that your signature on the 10th page of this document, Ms. Pennington?
That is my e-signature, yes.
Are all the statements in this document true to the best of your knowledge and recollection?
Okay.
Yes.
You previously
Okay.
testified that you went on a trip to Hicksville with Ms. Heard, Mr. Depp, and some other friends. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you recall when this trip occurred?
It's an e-signature, which is different.
Not off the top of my head.
Do you recall who else went on that trip?
Who is
Yes.
this? This is one of Amber's friends.
Who
It's
else was on
Amber's
that trip?
witness.
Whitney Heard,
Okay. That's Amber's
Nathan.
sister.
who was one of Johnny's assistants.
Okay. She's a UFC fighter? Wait, what the fuck?
Brittany Eustace. Kelly.
She's a UFC. Is that true?
Milano.
Is that really? Wait, what? Yes? People say yes and no. Bro, I don't know.
Anyone else that you can recall?
Same name, different person.
Trying to remember.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
No, I don't remember anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you all staying?
At Hicksville Trailer Park.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp become, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, toward a friend of yours?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Relative to where Mr. Depp was, where were you when this occurred?
We were around a campfire.
That's crazy.
My question is a bit more specific. Relative to where Mr. Depp was when this occurred, where were you sitting or standing?
I was at the same campfire.
How close were you to
In a
Mr.
circle.
Depp?
6 to 10 feet.
What time of day did this occur?
Evening.
Had you consumed any drugs or alcohol at this time?
She is just...
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I bet.
What
I
do you
think
recall
so.
consuming at that time?
Yeah, she just seems spaced the fuck out, man.
I don't remember. Likely wine.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember specifically.
Did you smoke any weed?
No.
Oh, of course not.
Did you consume any cocaine?
No.
Had you consumed any mushrooms?
I believe so.
There we go. How are you gonna know
Had you
weed
consumed
like that?
any MDMA?
And then do mushrooms.
No.
Who was the friend that you referenced Mr. Depp became, quote, angry and aggressive towards?
Kelly Sue.
How did you know her?
She was married to a work friend of mine.
Do you have any independent recollection of how long you had known Kelly Sue Milano by the time Hicksville occurred?
Uh-huh.
More than 1 year, less than 2.
Mm-hmm.
What did you witness Kelly Sue Milano doing that evening before
All right.
Mr. Depp became, quote,
6, 7
angry
years
and
ago, it's
aggressive?
understandable. Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know. Yeah.
I
Oh,
witnessed her
I don't know.
hang out with
That's all I'd say.
the rest of the group.
Did you see her consume any alcohol?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Did you see her smoke any weed?
No.
Consume cocaine?
No.
Did you see her consume any mushrooms?
Okay.
Maybe 1. So I'm genuinely trying to remember. I saw her eat some amount. I don't know how much.
That's great.
Did you see her consume any MDMA?
No.
That's surprising.
You testified that Mr. Depp said
One
words to
shroom?
the effect
Yeah.
of, quote, get off my woman, end quote, to
Oh.
your friend. Is that right?
I testified that.
Did you personally hear Mr. Depp say that?
Yes.
Is this the, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote, conduct by Mr. Depp that you testified to?
Yes.
Other than telling Kelly Sue Milano to, quote, get off his woman, end quote, what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive, end quote?
Let's see. What's she gonna say? What's she gonna say?
That was what happened. Then I think Kelly and Amber were hugging on a chair out by the fire. He came
He
out of
said
nowhere,
that?
said that, and then I think that Amber and Johnny went back to to their trailer.
Oh my God.
Other than hearing Mr. Depp say something to the effect of "get off my woman," what did you personally observe Mr. Depp do that was, quote, angry and aggressive?
Yeah, what is it?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Did you hear Amber say anything to Mr. Depp?
All right.
I don't remember her saying anything.
Did you hear Amber Heard raise her voice when speaking to Mr. Depp?
No.
What, if anything, do you remember about Amber's reaction to Mr. Depp's behavior?
She was trying to comfort him.
This evening in Hicksville, did you ever see Amber Heard consume any drugs or alcohol?
I didn't see it.
But
you
it
didn't see
happened.
Miss Heard drink any wine?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember a specific time watching her take a sip of a drink.
That's crazy.
Was she holding a drink?
I don't remember.
And this evening in Hicksville, did you see Mr. Depp consume any drugs or alcohol?
Uh-huh.
I didn't see any specific image in my mind of him consume.
Did you personally witness Mr. Depp, quote, in a rage, end quote, that Miss Heard described?
Did I personally witness the rage in the trailer?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Did you hear
interesting.
Mr. Depp yelling in the trailer?
No.
Ah.
Did you hear Miss Heard yelling in the trailer?
No.
Wow.
Did you personally see that the trailer was, quote, trashed, as Miss Heard described?
The next morning?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. At
What
least that's
specifically
something.
did you see in the trailer?
The thing I remember specifically was the light fixtures had been knocked off.
Okay.
But you didn't see Mr. Depp knock off the light fixtures in the trailer, is that correct?
I did not see it.
So the only thing you know about what happened in that trailer is what Ms. Heard told you and your observations of the light fixtures being knocked off. Is that correct?
The only thing I know about what happened in the trailer is what she told me.
This is Amber's
and what
witness,
I saw
yeah.
the next morning.
And the only thing you saw the next morning was that the light fixtures had been knocked off. Is
Yeah,
that
this
correct?
is Amber's witness.
That was not the only thing I saw. It is the specific thing I
Okay.
saw.
What else do you recall about the trailer?
It was in a general disarray.
A general
What does
disarray.
that mean?
That means it looks like my room.
Was trash. It was torn apart.
That's fucked up.
What besides the light fixtures were thrown apart?
I've already told you specifically, I remember the light fixtures. The rest is a general disarray.
What is
Thanks,
a general
Letsu.
disarray
20
to
subs,
you, Ms.
thank you.
Pennington?
Stuff off the counters, cushions thrown around, things strewn about on the floor.
Did you see Miss Heard shortly after she returned from Australia?
All right. Why don't we just stop
Yes.
right there? So that'd be a good breaking point, I think. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break for the evening. Again, do not
Thanks again.
discuss
Thanks to the 20
this case
gifted
with
subs.
anybody
I
and don't do
appreciate
any
it.
outside research. And we'll see you in the morning at 9 o'clock, all right? Get some sleep, okay? Thank you.
Yep. There we go. And Epic Pillow Fight? Yeah, exactly. Google general disarray. I just... give me 1 second. One second, sorry. Wait, it's over already? Holy shit. Oh my god. That was like, it was so slow at the end there, like, it drove me crazy. Like, honestly, I'm gonna go rewatch that tonight for ASMR. And we'll talk about a little bit more about this stuff. Is like this whole situation, like everything here. Like, I mean, she was just getting fucking roasted into oblivion. To be honest with you, I'd like to see Johnny come back and talk about this a little bit more and give his perspective on it. Because I don't think we really ever got his perspective with the number of these other cases, etc. And I don't know. I think obviously you're going to see a lot more people who are, you know, they're going to see the light here. You know, I feel like, yeah, there's going to be more co-exam and everything like that. Morning stream? Yes. Well, I was mowing stream, excuse me. No, it's going to be a morning stream.